little journey through your imagination. So, are your eyes closed? Are you ready? Okay. Let's start off in front of a castle. And you're facing the castle, you're outside of it, and you're facing the castle. What does this castle look like? Is it old-timey medieval fantasy? Is it like a princess castle? Is it a giant sand castle? Is it maybe like haunted or abandoned or something? What does your castle look like? You start walking towards the entrance of the castle. And you come upon a big door. A big door. How is the door adorned? Adorned. Are there intricate engravings? Or maybe it's covered in vines? Or maybe it's covered in stars? What does it look like? What does it look like? What does it look like? You try the door, but it's locked. And you see a little trail that looks like it leads to a secret path. Maybe you can get in that way. So, this trail goes along the side of the castle, and you walk along it. What does the trail look like to you? Is it a dirt path? Or maybe some pebbles? Or grass? What does the little path look like? You walk along until you reach the end. And at the end, there's a chest. It looks like a treasure chest. And it looks like it's a little propped open. Maybe somebody left something in there for you. You open it, and inside is a key. What does the key look like? What does the key look like to you? You take the key and you walk all the way back to the door. And you try to see if that key opens the door. So you put the key in the lock and twist. The door opens. And the first thing you see inside is a massive open foyer with some stairs. What does the foyer look like? Is it got a ton of intricate decorations? Or is it just wide and spacious but not much there? What's the floor made out of? And what do the stairs look like? Are they winding stairs up the middle? Are there two staircases, one on each side? What do the stairs look like? Before you go up the stairs, you notice that there are two wings to this castle. A wing to the right, a wing to the left. You can explore them both, but you'll have to start somewhere. Which way do you turn? Left or right? forth into the wing, and you notice a hall of windows. What are the windows like? Are they tiny and just a bunch of them? Are they stained glass? Are they tall floor-to-ceiling windows? What do the windows look like? What do the windows look like? And what do you see outside the window? Do you see a big open field? Do you see the ocean in the distance? Do you see a garden? What do you see outside the window? You take a look, and then you continue on through the hall. And you notice there's 3 rooms. You can go into any of them. Which room do you go into first? 1, 2, or 3? Alright, so you step into the room, and this room looks like a giant ballroom with really beautiful decor. How is this ballroom decorated? How is it decorated? Take a look around at the vastness of the room, of every little detail. Take it in. How is the lighting in this room? What does the lighting look like? You step further into the room, and you notice that there's a record player. You walk over to it, and it says you can play whatever record you think of. What song do you start playing? What song do you start to play? The song fills up the entire room. And maybe you dance a little bit, maybe not. And you leave that song playing and you walk back out into the hallway. You keep going to the next room. You can still hear the song playing in the other room. And you walk into this room. Looks to be a bedroom with a nice big bed in it. What does the bed look like? What does the bed look like? You walk towards the bed and you sit on it. How does it feel? Is it soft, hard, medium? What's it feel like? Are there any pretty pillows on the bed? Pretty pillows. You notice in the room there's also a wardrobe. What does the wardrobe look like? Is it intricately decorated? Is it nice and minimalist? What does that look like? You walk towards the wardrobe and you open it. And there's a ton of clothes neatly organized in the wardrobe. What kind of clothes are they? They seem like they would fit you. What kind of clothes do you find in the wardrobe? You pick up an item of clothing to try it on. You notice there's a big mirror on the other wall where you can see how you look like in it. You look awesome. You look freaking awesome. And the item you picked fits you so well. You then begin to walk out of the room, but first you notice that in the middle of this room, where the bed sits, there's a huge, beautiful rug. Beautiful rug. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it feel like? What does it feel like? You walk out of the room and go into the final room. This room looks to be a giant ball pit. It's beautifully lit, and there are windows with natural lighting. It looks cool and inviting, and like you could totally bring your friends here and hang out. What color are the balls in the ball pit? Are they pearlescent white, and they all look like individual pearls? Are they rainbow, like in a fast food play place kind of thing? What do they look like? What do they look like? What do they look like? You make a note to invite your friends to hang out here later. You walk back to the foyer and go to the other wing. This one is a long, winding hallway. Seems to go on forever. It doesn't feel scary. It doesn't feel dark. It's lined with the same windows that were on the other side. You keep walking until there's another door. It seems like it leads to the outside. What does it look like? What does it look like? You try the door to see if it's open, and it is. It's unlocked, and you open it to the outside world. There's a cool breeze. And you feel it hit your skin, and it feels so good. What's out here? It seems to be the backyard of the castle. What does it look like? Is there a pool, maybe? Is it some sort of sport field or a garden? What does it look like? You walk around, taking in every detail of this outside space. And then you remember there was a second floor. So you doop, 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 back through the door that you came through the winding hall. But then you notice in the winding hallway there's a painting of Kirby. And it shows Kirby going through a magic door. Almost like it's hinting to you that somewhere here there's a magic door. You could check behind the painting. Do you check behind the painting? You move the painting aside, and you see there's a button. It's a pretty pink heart-shaped button. You press it. A portal appears. What does the portal look like? Is it a bunch of different colors? Is it like galaxies? What does it look like? You walk through the portal, and you're see the night sky. It looks extremely real, but also there's lines between the stars showing the different constellations. But it doesn't look like a ceiling, it looks like literally the sky. You notice a little animal in the distance. It looks friendly, and it looks at you. You walk over to it. What kind of animal is it? It waves to you, and it tells you, in order to reach the stars, you have to go to the observatory. They'll be up the stairs in the foyer. That's where you were going, but then this portal showed up. And the animal notices that that's kind of your vibe, like you were already on your way to the foyer to go up the stairs. So the creature tells you, yeah, a lot of times people get distracted by the painting, and then they come here to the library of distraction. This is a place where you'll find millions and millions of subjects, interesting subjects and stories, where you can just get so distracted and lose track of time because you get so into whatever it is. Anything you can imagine. Anything you can imagine that might take your attention exists here. So the energy tends to pull people in, and so does Kirby. You're free to look around, says the animal. But you feel like if you looked around for too long, you might get stuck here. It's a pretty cool place. Time stands still here, says the animal. So you don't have to worry about losing any time. You'll go right back to where you were once you leave the library. And it'll be like not a second has passed. You make a note of that. You say farewell to the animal, and you start to walk back. A path lights up in front of you, leading you back to the exit, since this library is so vast, and you realize you're further into the library than you even intended to be. You follow the lit up path, and you go right through the portal. You're back in the hall. You head to the foyer. And in the foyer, there's the stairs. You start walking up the stairs and you notice that every step makes a little sound. It sounds like an instrument. Each step a different note. What instrument does it sound like? What instrument does it sound like? Sweet. You make it to the top of the stairs. The second floor of the castle. And there you see there's this like a big loft area with different plants and furniture where you can just kind of chill. What are the plants like? What does the furniture look like? Does it look comfy? You see a sign that points to one side and says, "This way, Observatory." You follow it through another hall, but this hall is slanted upwards and starts to swirl and swirl and swirl. And it smells like ice cream in here. And you realize that this inclined, swirling hallway looks like what the inside of a soft serve vanilla chocolate swirl ice cream would look like. But you're in it. You make it to the end, and you make it to a door that's made of waffle cone. The sign says you can either open the door or eat it. Either way, you'll get to the other side of it. What do you decide to do? Do you eat the door? Or do you just open it? You get to the other side of the door, and you're in the observatory. You look behind you, and the door is there just like you found it, shut behind you. And you're in a dark, dimly lit room amongst the stars. You look beneath your feet, and the floor is made of glass. And you can see the library underneath you. And you look around you and up above you, and there are all the stars, all the constellations, all the planets, all the planets you could possibly see. There's also a giant telescope, and it says, "One thing at a time." So it looks like every 24 hours you can look at one different thing in the sky. You go to the telescope. What does the telescope look like? Besides ginormous. What does it look like? What does it look like? You look through the telescope, and you're able to just know. The knowledge is just in your brain. The coordinates to whatever star, or whatever moon, whatever planet you want to look at. What do you look at? What do you look at? What do you look at? You can see it all in detail. The most detail you have ever seen. Not even a picture has had this much detail of what you're looking at right now. It almost feels like you're seeing it through the naked eye. After a while of looking through the telescope at the pretty sky, seeing the detail of the thing you chose to look at, after a while of that, you step away, and you see on the opposite side of where you came in from, there's another door. This one glistens. Shiny, shiny, shiny. An iridescent door. You open the door, and you see in front of you is a long, winding slide. It's rainbow and glowing like Rainbow Road in Mario Kart. You slide down. All the while, the stars continue to surround you as you slide down the rainbow slide. At the end of the slide is a pool. Now, the pool can be made out of anything, and no matter what, you never sink. So you don't even need to know how to swim to be in here. The pool can be made out of anything, and it won't be a problem. So it can be made out of chocolate, It could be made out of cotton candy. It could be made out of Jell-O. Or it could just be water. Splash. You land in the pool and you start to float. Bouncy, 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 buoyant. And the current gently, gently, gently takes you. And you notice you weren't able to tell when you went from being inside the castle to outside the castle. But you feel that now the sun is shining on your face. It feels warm and nice. And the current continues to gently take you. And you allow it. It feels really nice. And you can tell that you're safe. The sun begins to set. You realize you had no idea how much time has passed by. But that there's nothing that feels more important than this. And then a little bird lands on your shoulder. And it says, "Don't worry. If you would like for no time to pass, once you're done with your adventure, you can do that, just like at the library. You can stay here as long as you want. And when you go back, it'll be like no time has passed. This is a place where you can go whenever you're stressed. And you just want to chill and you just want to explore. The castle grounds are endless, and whatever you imagine will be. And you are safe. And those around you and those who love you and those you love are safe. Everything is okay here. And you notice that where you were once gliding through this current, you are now floating on a cloud, hovering above a beautiful garden, safely, safely on this cloud, over this garden. What does the garden look like? Does it have a ton of intricate hedges? Does it have beautiful roses? Or a rainbow of flowers? What does it look like? What does it look like? What does it look like? Not too far in the distance, you see the back of the castle. And the little bird hands you a jewel. What kind of jewel is it? A ruby, a diamond, an emerald. What kind of jewel is it? And the bird tells you, hold this in your hand, and then think of where you want to go, and it'll take you. So, if you'd like the cloud to take you back to the castle, just hold on to the jewel and think it. It's like the Castle of Time's version of a steering wheel for this cloud. And you can choose for the cloud to look more like a car made of clouds. Or it can stay just a nebulous cloud. Or it can be shaped like a UFO. It can be shaped like a motorcycle. Anything you want. This is your vehicle. And the jewel is your steering wheel. And you can park it wherever. Keep the jewel in your pocket. Think of the vehicle and it'll appear. It can be a skateboard too, so if you're inside and you want to just get on a skateboard. You'll have a skateboard made of clouds and you can skate throughout the castle. Maybe in the ballroom. Or maybe you can think up a skate park. There's anything in here. Anything you would like. And if you want to invite people over, you just think it. And there they are. So, the rest of the journey is yours to take. It's yours to take, yours to take, yours to take. You can be here as long as you want, whenever you want, and you can repeat this guided journey again if you'd like.